Well, David's not even been there a year yet, so it's not fair to say David's been there 2 years. David's barely been there a year. And Bill Baroni worked under an executive director who that report finds was a failure. I mean, Bill, as the deputy executive director, has some measure of influence, Michael, but in the end, the executive director runs the day-to-day. And, you know, we had folks appointed by the other administration in the majority of the seats on the Port Authority and in the chairmanship of the Port Authority before the last year. This audit happened because of the leadership of David Sampson coming and telling me how troubled he thinks things were, by the leadership of Governor Cuomo because of how troubled he thinks things were over there, and me too. So, you know, listen, Michael, I'm going to be held accountable in the end for what happens over there. But we are now turning the page on this chapter of the Port Authority's dysfunction and ineffectiveness, and we're going to change it. But before we started to make changes, I think the common sense thing to do was to ask for an outside firm to come in and give us a roadmap for how to get there. And I think this is at least a preliminary roadmap has been provided to me and Governor Cuomo. He and I spoke at the end of last week about what we need to do next, and we're going to take steps together to implement changes there. And you can be sure that David Sampson will be a large part of that. And Mr. Foy, who is now the new executive director appointed by Governor Cuomo, is completely committed to changing the program over there. And so I'm optimistic that we're going to be able to do it. We now have a roadmap to do it. We're going to be able to do it. But I think it's unfair to criticize Senator Baroni, who is the number 2 over there, not the one making the decisions. In the end, that was Mr. Ward, and I think that this audit has a pretty negative opinion about his stewardship over there.